Welcome everybody to this LinkedIn Live, and I've talked about this before on how surgeons should treat their lives similar to like a pro athlete does theirs, as far as all the preparation that goes into their training, their nutrition, their recovery, all those things that help them be who they are, be there at their best. And today we're going to be talking about why surgeons should manage their lives like a pro athlete when it comes to the training side of things. So we're taking a high-low approach to your workouts for maximal results. We talked about in the past about how pushing it hard, pushing it hard every single time you work out is not the recipe for you to get the results that you want. So we're going to dive into what that looks like, what will help you get the results that you want. So how did I learn this? Through my education, coaching, consulting with clients, I've learned that progress isn't linear, right? Therefore, the progression of stimulus is not linear either. So we can't, in other words, again, it goes back to like if I work out and provide this type of intensity to my workout, this workout, then the next workout, it should go here and it should go here and it should go here. And therefore, I'll get better and better and better every time I work out. It doesn't work like that. That's not how our physiology works, especially when you factor in all the different variables that come into play with stress and how we manage that stress, whether that be mental, physical, or emotional. We need to appreciate that and have a more structured, detailed plan that's specific to the individual. And with the surgeon's lifestyle, we got to make sure that we're dialing in on that and giving them something that's actually going to supplement and enhance their quality of life rather than take away, right? So the approach. So you're going to have high days where we're focused on building strength, increasing muscle mass, and athletic qualities. And then we'll have low days, which are going to focus on building more cardiovascular endurance, improving your cardiovascular health, and promoting recovery. So what I do with my surgeons on these days, it depends on how many days per week available they're able to work out and the duration of availability for each workout. And together we figure out something that's realistic and sustainable, and then we build from there. Okay. Take a look at the injury history, any chronic aches and pains that you're dealing with, which I haven't had a surgeon that comes in and say, hey, Mike, I feel great. My body's just like energetic. I don't have any aches or pains and everything's great. That has never happened. And if you're out there, then you are one lucky person. Structural limitations and movement quality. Like these are all going to factor in on what the exercise and lift selection is, how we structure that together, and how we progress it. Okay. And even down to the details of how we coach it. Okay. Obviously goals and then equipment availability, right? Oftentimes people make the mistake of thinking that they need, all the equipment in the world to make progress. That isn't true. You do need some, because one of the tenets of strength training in order to promote adaptation is progressive overload. And so progressively, we can create progressive overload in a number of different ways. It's not just actually with the weights, or increasing the number of repetitions that you do. But you can do other things like improve your technique, change your stance with different exercises, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of different ways we can do that, but having some equipment is necessary. And we consult on that and what that looks like and what the plan should entail for that particular surgeon. So what do we focus on with high days, right? So we're going to focus on strength. So we're increasing force output for any given particular movement or lift. And systemically, you're enhancing the efficiency of your central nervous system. Okay. So this is going to have good general carryover. If you look at how this translates to life, look at the OR. That is the most common thing that I hear. One of the most common things that I hear as far as physical qualities that or biomotor abilities that transfer over to the operating room is an increase in strength and how much easier it makes to operate. Makes them more efficient. They're not putting wear and tear on the same areas that they were before. They're feeling that they're using muscles that they hadn't used previously. Okay. Building muscle. So it's going to give you that rip V look where we're kind of like, that Hugh Jackman Wolverine look where you're not going to look like Hugh Jackman. I'm just going to tell you straight up. But having something along those lines, that's what a lot of the surgeons that I work with, that's what they desire. Narrowing the waist a little bit broader shoulders, depending on a lot of things, genetics, your structure, like all those things come into play. That'll how much of an effect we get with that that's going to vary individual to individual, but we are working on putting more lean muscle tissue. And for my female surgeons, probably doesn't sound desirable to get more of that V look, but no worries there. Like you can still put on lean muscle tissue, so it's more defined and toned, and something that like when you look in the mirror, you're like, yeah, like I'm feeling pretty good about the way I look. Okay. And the final thing that we would focus on is power. This is you're going to see a lot of transfer to your hobbies and activities you enjoy outside the OR and clinic. Add in add in yards to your drives on your golf swing. Probably one of the most common things that I hear, more efficiency with running, like stride length gets better, stride rate gets better. Things along those lines that are more recreational activities. Probably the most extreme version would be like, I've heard improvement with downhill mountain biking, snowboarding, things like that. I got some clients that really like to take some chances. So, those are the main things that we're going to be focusing on with your high days. So what do we focus on for the low days? Well, we're going to have more cardiovascular endurance and health that we're looking at to help enhance recovery, longevity, your ability to manage stress, and metabolic flexibility, meaning that like you have a little bit more flexibility with the foods that you consume, and they won't have the same negative consequences on your body. So in short, you get to enjoy yourself, enjoy your life a little bit more. Mobility and reset exercises. So they're going to help, preserve the joint health and minimize wear and tear on your body, help mitigate with that improved mobility, how you carry yourself, your position, your posture. You'll start to notice things don't hurt as much. Maybe when you move, you start feeling muscles that you didn't know were there. And overall, it just feels like you're a different person in a good way. Right. And then the final thing, looking at your overall step count, is that can have, there's plenty of research that shows with longevity and metabolic flexibility that has a pretty profound effect there. And more specifically with metabolic flexibility, if you just want to make it really simple about managing your weight. Right. So things to consider. How much, because this is where a concept called autoregulation comes into play. So when you come in, you work out, you got your plan on paper. Those are guidelines. They're subject to change based on who is in front of me for that particular day. Meaning, obviously, you're going to be you every day that you come see me. But what version of you am I getting? Am I getting the version that was well rested, well nourished throughout the day, and is ready to attack that workout? Or am I getting the version of you that got a call in the middle of the night to go in and operate, and then you went back home, you had a couple hours at home, then you had to go back in and operate all day, and now I'm starting to see you underslept, under-recovered, undernourished, and we need to make adjustments for that particular circumstance. So that's really important, have that ability to understand how your physiology can shift based on the inputs that are given to your body on a daily basis. And what I mean by input is like the amount of stress and what kind of stress you encounter daily. Okay. So how much quality sleep did you get the night before? How much quality sleep have you got in the last few nights? What about weeks? The longer term comes into play important when I start seeing symptoms that are repetitive, right? Somebody that's not normally low energy comes in and they're consistently low energy for a couple of weeks. Okay. Then we start asking questions like that, try to get a better understanding so we can plan better and make the necessary adjustments so that we're not running into a brick wall where, we're able to hop over it and continue that upward climb and do what's right for the surgeon. So how demanding was your day at work? What about the week? Has that resulted in you being less physically prepared than normal? How well have you been managing your stress load? What has your gym performance been like? And do you have any big cases the next day? Relevant, because if I have a surgeon doing a muscle hypertrophy workout, might see a little bit of excessive soreness or extra soreness from that particular lift. I keep in mind, if we do have a lift like that, I modify the amount of volume, but sometimes you still get the response of excessive soreness. In those situations, I don't want my surgeon being sore the next day when they have to operate. That can negatively impact performance. I don't want that to be an issue. They don't want that to be an issue. So strategically placing those days with the right amount of volume is really critical to the surgeon's performance and health. It's something that needs to be considered. Now, these were videos I had of my surgeons talking about the benefits that they've had. And unfortunately, I can't play them. I thought I could. But, this is a pediatric orthopedic surgeon talking about how, the amount of low back pain that's decreased during operation. It's not completely gone, but the duration or the frequency in which he encounters it is much less. It's not every single time he operates. And when it does present itself, it's at a much lower intensity than before. And then the time between operations, he doesn't have it at all. He's ready to go in less number of days than he was before he started having a strategic plan to follow. This surgeon talks about how his training has helped him with his core strength and how much that's carried over to the OR and allowed him to present himself as, basically a better person because he's not having to focus on the aches and pains that he used to experience. So I love connecting with surgeons. Follow with me here on LinkedIn, shoot me a message, say hello. I'd love to learn about you and what you do on a daily basis, what your life's like what challenges you face. So please message me, follow me. That'd be great to connect. And if you're a surgeon who's working hard but not seeing the results you want, please DM me, Hybrid, and I'll personally reach out with a couple questions to see if my Surgeon Vitality Blueprint program might be a right fit for you. And if it's not, then I'll help you find somebody within your local area if I have a connection there, or somebody online that could be a good fit for you. But I thank you so much for being here on this Friday. Really appreciate you stopping by. I look forward to the next live. Until then, have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you there.